Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Don't Be Mad podcast. It's Tuesday evening, kicking it with my homies, Jamali, Jason.
We can't introduce yourself no more?
Oh, you were on your phone, so I wasn't sure how busy you were, you know? Like,
Damn.
usually I like to see the engagement, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you heard, like, we were live and you didn't even look up.
Well, thank you, Matthew, for having me on your show.
Oh, man, I'm so grateful to have
Jamali
you
is
here.
hurt right now.
No, introduce yourself, brother. You know, I'm just playing with you.
No, keep going. You're ahead of it yourself. Keep going.
Oh, don't say it like that. We just kicking it. Oh, man. So it's another week. It's been a little bit of a slow burn. How's your guys' week been? How's the mental health? You see, this is why I introduced you, because you're not even like looking out.
He's looking at stuff at LeBron. That's why. Dude,
Jesus
talk about me
Christ.
how I don't even go on Kobe's Instagram, but this dude's on LeBron's Instagram.
Anyways,
Okay, there you go. He can't even show his phone because they know I'm right.
as I was saying, it was a good week. I can't wait for this week to be over.
Yeah?
I mean,
How come?
I just like weekends, man.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's all.
Plus, we got a long weekend coming up, Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
Got anything special planned or just using it to zen out?
No, just working. That's all.
Shit. Working on the long weekend? That sucks. Don't work too
Never
hard.
stop
man.
working, man.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to have yourself a little break, get yourself a little recharge.
Oh, yeah. I do that. I'm going to sleep in.
Is he still looking at LeBron?
Nah, he's looking at something with Jay-Z now.
His
I see everything, Jamal.
His two parents. What about you,
Pause,
Jason?
bro.
How's your week? How's your
Pause.
mental health?
I'm
This
good, man.
guy-
I can't complain. I'm just chilling. Mental health is always perfect. So,
I don't know about always perfect, but okay.
yeah, what do you have to say?
Hey, man,
Jamal?
if he's feeling good, he's feeling good, man. I'm happy for him.
Dude, I'm not bouncing off the walls or anything, dog. Relax.
Not that we know
I
of.
mean, it's still Tuesday. It's not like when we were recording on Friday, you had that Friday energy. It's a bit different on a Tuesday.
Yeah, you're active because, we just finishing work and going back to work the next day.
Yeah, man.
So
I'm
I'm
just
alright.
trying to keep it mellow, Got any plans for the long weekend?
No plans, man.
Nah,
I have
nah.
no plans whatsoever. Just probably relax, chill.
See the missus?
Yeah, that too.
That's a good thing to do, man.
If you say so.
Wow.
Hey, man,
I see her every day, so if you say
I
if you
figure
say
it
so,
would be.
what?
I don't know.
Wow. This guy said, if you say so.
Is that saying something bad though?
Well, kind of. It insinuated that if you think it's good, then so be
Listen,
it.
Jamal, I'm not in control of your thoughts. I just said
I
what
don't
I
have
said.
any thoughts. I'm just saying exactly what you said and how it's interpreted by most.
Well, you interpreted it. Let's make specifics here. Specifics.
Bro, you know that sounded wrong.
Hey, look,
I
I'm
didn't
not
say
here to
that.
pass judgment on anything, man.
There you
Bro,
go.
if you think it's a good idea, I guess it is. That's what you. That's
Leave
exactly.
Let Jamal. Leave
That's
Jamal.
exactly what you said. You know you're gonna have to answer it tonight anyway.
Oh, relax.
So I don't know why you're trying to act like a big man.
Calm yourself.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So for me, man, I had a nice weekend out with
Don't ask you.
I'm telling you, okay? Jesus, Jamali, look, if you could pry yourself away from the phone and engage with us, you'd understand we have a little thing going here.
You have a little thing going. No one got nothing with you going. Go ahead.
Look at this. He's so aggressive out the gate. I don't get it. Anyways, I had a nice weekend that just passed. Had a nice little chalet getaway with the boys for our fantasy football league. It was good fun, good drunken fun. No, I think I got a decent team. We'll see how it goes. That's for the long weekend coming up. Nothing major planned, but something's gonna pop up last minute. I know there's like a beer fest that's supposed to happen, so I'll probably go to that with
Beer
a couple
fest?
people. Yeah, they always have like all the Quebec breweries and everything come together. A few from Ontario as well, and they just show off
wow.
like the new products and stuff like that. I'm not really big on beer, so like I usually go for like the ciders. So see what new ciders are coming.
Beer's good, man. Beer fest is always good. I remember, what's that place? Beer market.
Yeah,
They took out a whole bunch of international beers and like from the States, from everywhere. So now it's just like it's all local brewers from like Quebec and stuff. Who wants to go there now? Because I wanted to try every time I go
hey
there.
man, so you gotta
That's a
support the
good
local
thing,
man.
You
That
got
is
to
a good
support
thing.
local business.
Yeah, but the business, the beer market itself is not a local thing. It's all over Canada. They have these stuff. And my thing is like every time I go to there, I try something new. So I would have like 4 drinks, 4 beers, every time. And the next time I go, I'm having another 4 different kind of beers. There's always a different choice. Now it's like limited to what you can have all the time.
Like I feel like that would only be a problem if they really like they took a bunch out and didn't replace it with like other like across Canada breweries. It's like if you could get stuff from BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, then it'd be good. But if it's literally just like, all right, 40% of the stock is out and what was there before is just there, and that's kind of shit.
That's what it is right now.
I would hope they at the very least add more like Canadian and local stuff, but I mean, I don't really go there, so.
Nah, bro. Neither have I. I only pass by.
We pass by.
No, it's true. I just passed by. I never went inside.
It's nice place, this little restaurant and everything like that. Beer is not the biggest highlight there anymore. Now the food is pretty good. It's not bad
I think
at all.
Been like maybe once or twice, but like back when like it had first opened, so. Like I remember like the long list of what they had.
Yep.
Well,
not anymore.
That's unfortunate. If anybody knows those people that own the spot, tell them to put more Canadian stock in there. You know, if you're going to take away all the international stuff, at least give us some good domestic and some good national stuff. You know, highlight what we have here at the very least, especially like from like the smaller breweries that people would literally not be able to go to unless they were in those areas.
Yeah.
Just it's the smart thing to do.
Most definitely.
All right. So from the things we were talking about before we jumped on the mics, where should we start? You know, like does anybody have anything on that was on the docket that they want to jump into?
What happened in the news lately that we can talk about? Jamali?
I mean, obviously you got the Amazon rainforest burning.
Yeah. And
well, put some context of what you think is happening in the Amazon rainforest.
Well, let's just say it as we know it. Let's talk about it as we know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the last few weeks, the Amazon rainforest has been burning, and for those, like pretty much everybody knows, if I'm not mistaken on the numbers, it accumulates about 20% of the oxygen that's supplied to the world. And right now, it's been burning for a few weeks now. The wildfires, or let me use quotations, wildfires, don't seem to be coming to an end. And, you know, they just had the G7 summit, and, you know, Macron, the president of France or prime minister of France, essentially decided he was going to start a campaign to get people to bring money together to help stop the fires from happening. And the Brazil government essentially just rejected it as like colonialist mentality coming from the G7 summit, and saying that they would reject the money that they want to send to them, and specifically mention Macron in his denial of like these fires being an issue. So where do
I
go
don't think
there?
he's denying it, because he clearly did state that it is a problem and that he doesn't have resources to combat the fire. I don't think he's downplaying it. What the problem is, and we see this a lot in impoverished countries, when something terrible happens, the Europeans or the richer nation comes in, invests money, and then all of a sudden they now control, they dictate how things are going to be done. How, you know what I mean? They gain some level of control, and I think maybe that's what he's opposing. And you know what I mean? Like we see, like it's crazy because I was having this conversation yesterday. The church burnt down in France.
Yeah.
Overnight, not even 24 hours. We saw a crazy amount of people throwing a large amount of money.
Well, in 2 days, they managed to accumulate $1 billion.
Right. And that's a church. Not a church I'm fond of. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know how I feel about that. We had that discussion.
Hey, speak your mind.
Well, it sanctioned slavery, for most who doesn't know. Fuck that place. But this is like the Earth's oxygen. Whether you're rich, poor, black, white, you need that shit.
No, of course.
And no one's throwing nothing towards it. Like,
well, no, but here's the big issue with it, outside of just the amount of money that people aren't or should be throwing at it. It's the fact that, let's say, just looking at what the G7 summit was doing and them accumulating, I believe, $20 million to get some efforts down there, and having the Brazilian government essentially say, we don't need your help and we don't want it.
Right.
There's a big belief that the reason these fires are happening is because the farmers down there, who are very much in support of that Brazilian government, are doing it because they want to create more farmlands. So they're literally starting these fires to clear out the rainforest so that they can have more areas that they can have farmland to be used to create more production for the country.
Well, I mean, Brazil is one of the, like, for if most people don't know, it's like the biggest exporter of beef, right? So maybe everybody should go vegetarian. We'll be fucking happy. I don't know, bro. Like, it's so sad to think, but like, even that to me is not even that. It's not logical that they would do that, because if you're burning down all this greenery, how long does it take before that soil becomes usable
No, and I agree.
again?
In an
right?
environmentalist way of looking at it, it doesn't make sense to do that, because what it's doing to our environment, the impact it's going to have on the oxygen levels for the earth, especially with everything else that's happening, like the coral reef being almost wiped out at this point, which was another source of oxygen for the world.
Yep.
Knowing that we're literally drastically taking away from that, on an environmentalist side, it's completely illogical, makes absolutely no sense, and we should be doing everything we can to make sure these fires stop. From an industrialist side, where you're just looking at it as far as we're trying to create more space to have more industry and to create more economy for the country, and I'm not saying we as myself, but like just what the country's thought is,
Right.
it makes sense to wipe out this large area of space that isn't being used so that you can create more space for the farmers, for industrials, so that they can boost their economy through whether it's beef or other means.
But this is how business and regular folk have always worked throughout the centuries. In order to expand, you're gonna have to destroy.
Yeah.
And it's only later that people are gonna understand the ramifications of what's going on in their actions. So we all breathe the same air. You're gonna see when everyone starts choking and everything like that.
It's only a matter of time.
They're gonna come up. They're gonna be like, "Oh, now we have to do something." Same thing with global warming and people who don't believe in science. They believe God turned up the dial on the sun, and that's why the. you think I'm
I
joking?
think that's
No,
a bit
you
far.
think I'm joking, but that's what they
it's
think.
realistic, because
That's what they
recently there was pictures that were being sent out from the Arctic of how they were saying, I think it was about 7 years ago, you see like pure white caps, like you could see
Right.
like the ice and everything. And now some ice caps that they were saying were like the size of like the state of Texas, literally drained out, no longer white. You're seeing where like the actual land particles of it all, and it's getting to a point where all the ice and snow that's there is melting away.
Right. But I mean, well, I don't know what you guys, I know Jason probably did. I don't know what you guys did out in Westmount, but they taught us about glaciation period, right? And that the earth goes through these cycles over however length of time. Maybe this is just a natural progression.
That's a possibility too.
very
because-
much a
Maybe it's not
possibility.
a whole pollution shit as they're selling it to us.
But
maybe
there-
it's just that the earth is warming up
As
and
much as that is, there is natural progression. It's very much proven that CO2 has a major impact on the way the shift of the climate happens. It's
Right.
undeniable that
Because-
because of all the CO2 that we are producing from industry, from cars, from airplanes, everything, it's having major impact to the point that we're seeing these drastic changes happen where places that don't usually have droughts are going through months to years of droughts. Places that are usually extremely cold are now becoming really hot. And the ice caps that they were looking at, that if it were natural progression, they were saying what we would have had 30 to 50 years before 2 to 3 inches of ice would have been melted. And now it's looking more like within 10 to 12 years.
right.
Like it's more of just understanding our emissions imprint on Earth and what it's actually doing.
Oh,
as a grand whole.
I would be crazy to think that
Yeah.
it doesn't have an impact. I just personally think at this point in time, irregardless of the fact whether you believe it's God, emission, natural progression, I think when it all comes down to the fact that if just our human survival, it's important for us to address.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think something like the Amazon forest burning at the rate it's been burning. And again, this is not the first time, right? There's numerous fires that took place. And as you can see, mainstream media takes a while before they start covering these things. And I don't know, I can't believe local people are actually doing this. And if it is the farmers who are doing it, somebody in the high rankings of that country is getting paid out of this shit.
Well, you have to take.
Well, they will be.
There will
Oh,
be.
no, go
There's
ahead,
money
Jason.
to be made out of that.
Yeah,
think
go
of
ahead,
it,
Jason.
Think of it this way: you see in China, in certain aspects of like third world countries that are developing countries, we have this mentality, especially as Westerners, to say like, "Oh, you guys should not be doing this," blah 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 blah. In our developed countries, however, these countries that are developing are new. They're doing the same thing that we used to do. It's just that, and it kind of comes off as if we're being hypocritical, telling these countries, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't expand your land. You can't use industrial thing, blah blah blah." But in order to develop, but this is the same exact things that people in like Western countries were doing the whole time in order to develop or get to the part where we are. And the problem is that a lot of these countries, like for example, Brazil, parts of China, India, all this stuff, they're trying to get to where we are, and if you look at that, that's an economic threat. No one wants, like for the States, they always want to stay on top regardless of what. This is why they spend so much on building weapons and mass military and everything like that.
Well, I think when it comes
That's
to
the
China
thing.
and India economically, they're pretty much at a point where they're not trying to catch up, especially because majority of the economy that they have is through export. They are what it is.
They're not parity though, because
Yeah.
as much as there's a lot of rich people in China, there's even more people. Remember, this is a country of billions, not millions
Yeah.
like us, and that's the thing. It's
Well, yeah, no, the poverty level as far as like comparing like capita, yeah, there's a lot more poverty there than here. But as far as their economic standing and their ability to sustain within themselves, if like, let's say they weren't getting help from other countries, can they keep their economy afloat without other countries?
Absolutely.
They're very much in a position, both China and India, where they're fine because, like I said, majority of the things that keep their country going is the fact that it's export.
Well, when as soon as either country, China or India, whatever, starts surpassing the U.S. in export, press them by accident. When they start surpassing China in, U.S. in export, then we can see,
Yeah.
these two economies are the ones that are really driving the world economy.
Bro, they're
right now.
already surpassed the
Yeah,
U.S.
I
in
think a lot
export.
of the trade war that's happening now between the U.S. and China is simply because there's so many more countries that are dependent on everything China is producing
they're way
than
past that.
the U.S. or even majority of the countries in the EU.
Right. I think a lot of people now realize the power China
Yeah.
actually holds and how they could collapse an
'Cause
economy.
You even had recently Trump mentioning, like, there's a law that was out, I think he said in 1975 or 1977, that essentially he could stop all American companies from buying anything from China. You know,
Right.
and he was like, he goes, I don't want to do it, but I mean, I could if I want to. I could stop them all, like,
and he
just
can't-
like that.
He can't do
He
that.
can't technically.
And I said,
do
yeah,
that, but try.
I don't think anybody made any mention of the law, so I'm not even sure what that law he's trying to mention is. But yeah,
But-
you can't just flat out just stop everyone from getting from a single country. Like, it wouldn't work that way.
But even that, like, China has so much holdings within the U.S. currency that if they were to do that,
But
suicide.
bringing it back to the rainforest now and what's happening there. Like I said, if let's say like there's no confirmation either way of like if it's just natural that these fires are happening, you know, like it could be hot and boom, it's happening, or if the farmers are literally doing it. The biggest concern is the fact that the Brazilian government doesn't want outside support from these countries that can literally help them. You know, I think that in itself is a bit alarming when you have nations coming together and saying, look, we want to help you at the very least contain so that it doesn't go it spread any further than it is, and them saying, no, we don't want your help. Like, that to me is a bit concerning.
That's not concerning. I mean, when you look at certain countries, like you look at Jamaica, for example, back in the 80s with Michael Manley, when they needed money, they went to the World Bank. They went out to get money, and essentially what that does is it sells your country to the first class countries, and they control shit to the point where, like, there's a documentary that was released a couple of years ago. They were showing how Jamaican farm or milk producers had to throw their milk away because they were no longer allowed to sell it to Jamaicans. They had to import. You know, simple things as onions had to be imported.
Yeah.
So it's like when you take money from these countries, you're also relinquishing control of something. And I don't, it's kind of fucked up to think that, you know, they would have these type of clause, but I won't be surprised.
No, and look, I'm not saying
And I
I
think-
would be
and I think, honestly
surprised by
speaking,
that either.
honestly speaking, because the rest of the world depends so much on it, it shouldn't even be a concept of wanting to go help and do this. It should be just by virtue of the fact that it's 20% of our oxygen.
But you know
we
what?
should be gladly turning over cash to give to them to protect that space.
But you know what I think what's going on right now is why Brazil is not accepting any aid. It's where the aid is coming from. So imagine you're getting aid from the U.S. The U.S. will, we helped you with this. You might owe us later on for something else. And that's how it starts. I think that's what they're saying. They say that's how it starts. They helped us with one little thing, and then they're going to ask to do this and ask for little things, and soon it's going to creep into people's economy. Same thing would happen in
Haiti,
of
recent
same thing
years.
would happen in Haiti. Same thing would happen in all the Caribbean. So essentially, like the U.S. started making a popular brand that sells bananas in over here.
Chiquita?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
They start mass producing it. So now countries in the Caribbean can't even keep up and produce what they're doing. So instead of
Monsanto's, you have all these type of shit.
that's
they
the
just
company,
go,
Monsanto's, yes. Yeah.
Monsanto's, they go in and then they do all these type of control mechanism.
So they make it for
Good old
cheaper.
Koch
They make
brothers,
it
huh?
bigger.
Well, one of
and-
them died. One of them
Oh,
died this
yeah, I
week.
forgot. Yeah,
That's a
one-
direct connection of the Koch brothers.
Right.
Koch
Monsanto.
brothers.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, that's the thing. What happens is they produce more, they build more. Then instead of you exporting your stuff, you have to buy from them because you
Yeah.
can't keep up, and it sucks for a lot of these developing countries. So that's why I can understand if that's the case why Brazil's not accepting any aid from these places.
And I do believe the fires are intentional. There's no way about it. That's just my inclination. I watched a couple of videos of people, reporting back. Like, these are people's houses getting burnt down. Like, animals, the ecosystem is going to change because of this.
The amount of animals that are being displaced as a result of this is
Displaced, killed. There's species
Killed, yeah,
that's going to
and-
be wiped out.
because essentially, you're going to have species that are getting wiped out or endangered, but then you're going to have the ones that are managing to get away from the fires. Now
Right.
they're going to be displaced and put in ecosystems that they're not natural to.
It's not even that. They're going to be displaced and moved into the cities, and they're going to die in the cities, getting run over by cars, hit by.
Well, yeah,
everything.
they're not used
No,
to
that's
those
what I mean. Like
conditions.
it's
Yeah.
a matter of like once you take them out of their ecosystem, put them elsewhere,
Or force them to.
the shift that it's going to have in those areas,
Drastic.
it's beyond just a few of them dying or majority of them dying. Them being there is going to change the ecosystem completely.
I just think, like, naturally, like, I feel like since the rest of the world depends on this place, it shouldn't be no questions of anything. This should have been already, it's protected, and countries like Canada, the US, the EU, this should be pouring money from before all of this. And like I said, I'm sure the reason why he's probably turning down their aid is for control.
And that's the thing, like they could essentially have came together weeks ago and decided to pour in money, but if they're not going to accept it, what are you going to do?
Yeah, but I think one thing is like that money needs to be given to Brazil without like any like sort of strings attached, other than the fact that we need to make sure that it's used for the purpose of whether replenishing the rainforest, whether just obviously stopping the fires first and foremost, and there should be nothing attached to it.
Hey, Jamal, you're talking
No,
too
and-
much
and-
sense.
But like I get you
What?
saying like there should be nothing attached to it, but what I'm more saying is if the Brazilian government is looking at any funds coming from any other nation and saying no, we don't want it, regardless of if there's strings attached or not, there's nothing we can do at this point, which is essentially.
But I
how
don't
it's
think he's
looking.
refusing money that has zero strings attached. I think what he's refusing
Well, no,
is
because before like an amount was even mentioned of what was going to be sent, Macron, like the French government were the ones who were like, we need to figure out a way to like stop this from happening. And right away they were like, we don't want you coming over here.
I'm having a hard
Like they
time
said it
believing that
straight
because
up.
I've read reports where he clearly says we don't have the means to stop this. This is beyond our control. So for me personally, if I'm putting myself in his shoe, that's a statement that screams help to the rest of the world. And if at any point you're in that dire situation, you're refusing help, is because the other end of that deal is not feasible, right? And we see how it is. Like with Germany helping Haiti, Haiti is indebted to them. with that whole earthquake situation.
Yeah.
So it's like, like, oh, I'm going to take your money. Yeah, we're going to stop this, but then I'm indebted to you, or you have control over land that technically you shouldn't have. And at the end of the day, we all need this space, to exist for a basic survival.
Well, hopefully they get something done, man.
Yep. Next topic.
What do you want to do next? Dave Chappelle?
Nah, bro.
No, we can leave Dave Chappelle for after. We can leave
Yeah,
Dave
we
Chappelle
can do
for
it after
yeah.
since you didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I didn't see. We could leave it for next week. Let me watch it first.
You gotta wait a week?
Bro, I've been waiting months for y'all to watch shit that I want to talk about.
Yeah, you want us to be traumatized and in pain.
I personally don't like seeing stuff that already happened. I don't like going to the movies, seeing stupid stuff like
Especially if I
Sully.
know it's traumatic.
It's
No.
not even about traumatic. Like, I think like that idea of like,
To you.
no, the point is to have a conversation about it. The point is like we watch traumatic shit over and over and over again. I think as this generation or the time we live in, it's so real, it's so prevalent that it's like, oh wait, I don't want to voluntarily put myself through it. But I think it's an important part of history, and I think it's something that we should watch.
No, my only complaint when it comes to stuff like that, like when stuff happened in reality and I know what happened, like I don't need to relive something that I know already happened. It was wrong, and that's all I need. I don't need to see a whole production behind it. Same
For
thing,
those of you who are probably wondering what
same
we're
thing
talking
with
about, we're
Sully
talking
and
about the As They See Us, the
When
Ava
They See
DuVernay,
Us.
When They See Us, the Ava DuVernay miniseries on the Central Park 5.
Yes. I think it's a healthy discussion to have. I don't think it's bad.
I'm not saying the discussion itself isn't healthy or anything. I'm just talking about specifically watching that miniseries. I'd rather not.
Look, Jamali, I'll do you a favor. I will take a look at it. Just to do you a favor, I will take a look.
I
at
don't
it.
want you to do me a favor.
Then I won't look at it.
You can watch it if you want. Like, I don't give a shit.
You can't have it both ways, Jamal.
I'm not looking for it
he's
both
giving
ways.
He's giving you
No,
a
but I
link
don't
here,
want
man.
you to watch it because I ask you to watch it. You have to have a general interest in some shit like that.
Well,
I
no,
don't watch the fucking whatever Lord of the Rings shit y'all watch.
Yeah, because it's
What do you
something,
guys watch
it's
again?
not
What is that
something
called?
that
I watch a lot of things.
Lord of the Rings. What is it called? You know,
I've watched Lord of the Rings. I've
the
watched
one
Star
that just
Wars.
got canceled. There, it's over. That based on those books.
Which Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. I don't watch none of them things.
They didn't get canceled. The series
Well,
is
the
done.
series is those, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if canceled. With same shit. I'm just saying, like,
so
I
you
rather.
have no credibility, Jamali.
I don't care about credibility. What do you think that story give me credibility?
No, but I said no credibility in general. If you're saying stuff and no one cares or no one
Yeah.
believes what you're saying, when you're saying talking nonsense,
You can't be
cancel.
irritated that we don't want to watch something that you care about, but then not care about something that we care about. It's a weird
I think
juxtaposition
I
to be
know,
putting
but I think
yourself
there's
in.
a healthy dialogue to have as three black males in this type of time for us to have a conversation. I don't think that's unhealthy.
No, it's good.
I'm not gonna have a conversation
And you know
about
what, too?
dragons and shit.
To that argument, I agree with you, and I say to the amount of things that we have spoken about that have been extremely traumatic, that have been whether in the moment or things of the past that we have brought to the forefront, these conversations and this one that you want to have, we have had many times,
It's not that I want to have. I'm just saying.
and it's healthy.
No, I'm just saying. You made the point why I said that is for what you said about this Dave Chappelle special.
Yeah,
I didn't get to watch it. I'm like, yo, let me check it out first. We could all have a conversation about it. And your
Check
thing
it
was
out.
like, oh, another week. Bro, it just came out like 2 days ago.
and everyone's seen it, except for me.
Everyone who has time. I don't have time to just sit down and watch a Dave Chappelle special.
So then, how are you going to watch it for next week?
We have a long weekend.
Wait, Jamali, I just want you to repeat what you said because what you're saying sounds kind of weird. Just for you, you don't have time to see something new, but you have time to see something that's already happened 10 years ago.
And was a miniseries and was longer than an hour.
What?
I'm saying the Central Park 5 happened years ago, and everyone knows the outcome of it. So we want to talk about that again, but not something new. I understand what you mean by it's a good dialogue to have, but we already know what happened. Like, same thing with that oil rig movie that happened. We all know a bunch of people died, some live. Something with Sully. We know the plane landed on the freaking Hudson River. We all know that shit. We don't need to go see it again in the movies. That's what I mean.
I'm Tom,
I'm Will.
and we're the hosts of Blasting Off Again, a new Pokemon podcast brought to you by the Upford Network.
We've decided to take on the task of watching through every episode of Pokemon, providing live commentary and in-depth analysis of everyone's favorite 90s dogfighting cartoon.
We're tackling the hard-hitting issues. Is Brock racist?
Was Coughing the first ever suicide bomber?
What are the environmental implications of using Pikachu to power a building?
Will Misty ever get her bite back?
Find out the answer to all these questions and more on Blasting Off Again.
Available on the Upford Network, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We're blasting off again!
Ding.
Hi, I'm Candace Pye, and I'm the host of Gal Chat, a weekly podcast where we give you our feminist takes on everything from sex and dating to politics and pop culture. It's a show that updates you on controversial headlines, dives into the latest movies and TV, and discusses things like Tinder troubles and Me Too struggles. I put out a new show every Tuesday with special guests, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Subscribe, rate, review, and follow us on social media at GalChatPod.
I mean, I can't argue that.
Y'all read comic books and watch movies about it when you already know what happens. What's your point?
Well, the movies are actually drastically different than the comic books.
Yeah, whatever, bro. It's the same shit. Y'all read the books, y'all talk about it, then they come out with a movie, and then y'all are the first people in line.
No, Jamal. No. That's why we look at it to know what's going on.
But the difference with the comic books and this miniseries is I'm not re-experiencing a traumatic situation that I know going into I am going to be bothered by.
Whatever.
That's not me. I just don't like seeing shit I know happened already. That's all.
Right, so you should stop going to
Like
see all
it's
those
literally the
Marvel
same
movies
reason I don't watch slave
and all
movies.
those Star Wars joints.
I don't remember.
I love Star Wars.
I remember seeing X-Men in Civil War in the comic books. I don't see them in the movies now.
It
It would
is
have been
what
nice
it
if
is.
they were there
Okay, there
too.
you go, Jamal.
What?
So it would have been nice if they were there too.
Yeah, that would have been good. All right, let's go to. You want to talk sports, Jamal? I'll let you start off with the Lakers.
I don't know nothing about the Lakers. Is your team, fam?
Who's on the team?
Dude, you're the one who mentioned them.
No, I asked you particularly because I know how your feelings towards Dwight Howard. How do you
Good for
feel
him.
about
He's gonna
him
get
being
a
with the
check.
Lakers?
Good for him. Like, you think like the mere mention of his name sends me into a tailspin?
Yes,
like,
it does. I saw that. You look so. You're like, yeah, whatever.
No, Jason.
you know you hate Dwight Howard.
Oh, I've openly said I don't like Dwight Howard, but him getting a job with the Lakers means
you
little
said-
to
you
me.
slack-
at all.
said that you would slap him in his face if you ever see him.
Yeah,
You won't slap nothing. You can't even slap a
I've
backboard
said
on
straight
a layup.
up, I will slap him and take my beating. Like,
He would probably beat you well. You probably enjoy it too.
see, why do you always go there?
Because isn't he part of that?
You have
community?
something on your mind.
No, not at all. Pause. None of that on my mind.
Oh, you always bring it up.
No, but
Whenever we talk about Dwight, you always bring it up.
because it bothers you.
It's not bothering me.
Yes, it does. You're like, oh,
We're
man.
talking about the fact that as of October 21st, he's going to be on a contract where he makes $14.4 or $14.5 thousand a day. So, I mean, good for him. Laker fans here.
I'm not a Laker
assess
fan.
it,
I'm a LeBron fan.
Which-
Get it straight.
indirectly makes you a Laker fan.
No, I
'Cause you
support
wanna
any
s-
team.
wanting the success of LeBron right now means wanting the success of the Lakers.
Yes, but that
It's
don't make
just
me a Lakers
how it
fan.
works.
Doesn't make me a Lakers fan.
So what happens when LeBron retires? You're gonna just stop watching basketball altogether?
Hey, a lot of people did when Jordan did retire.
What are you talking about?
I know a lot of people who stopped watching ball after Michael
Yeah,
Jordan
they weren't
retired.
basketball fans.
That's not basketball fans though.
Point is,
I'm just
Dwight
saying-
Howard. What do you guys think? Like,
I think it's a good move. I think especially with Cousins being out, I think they need somebody at that position. I think it's a strategic move to have him on this day-to-day type of contract, just in case something becomes available that they could move towards more serious.
so why not just put him on the veteran minimum?
Again, I think his history with them is probably what's forcing them to treat him the way they treated him right now. I think remember he made a whole stink about wanting to leave, and Kobe made him cry, and all these different shit. So I guess they need him, but they don't want to make him feel appreciated, so they give him the. I think their goal is to get they're hoping by at least after All-Star weekend that there was somebody would trade. They'll be able to trade to get somebody else.
Trade
But-
what?
Not trade. They'll be
Who's
able
going
to
to
pick
trade
up
for
some,
Dwight Howard?
Bro, they'll be able to pick up somebody. You don't know who become free on that during that period of time.
Look,
I don't know.
Let's just call it what it is. They're trying to keep as much cap space for the opportunity to just say your day-to-day contract's over. We got this coming in, and that's it. Because you're not going to trade a guy who's on a literal day-to-day contract.
Well, I mean, not necessarily trade him to a team, but replace him with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Not like,
chances are there's nobody that they're going to be able to replace him with, though.
oh, I'm sure there are.
Like who?
Is Noel's contract almost up? I mean,
Nerlens Noel?
he's better than Dwight.
No, fuck that shit. Not on the
Well,
Lakers.
do
Are
you have to
kidding me?
swear?
At least say Joaquin Noah or something, like.
But yeah, they had Noah trying
They
out.
worked
for the
him
team.
out.
Yeah. But him and
Sometimes
LeBron
they-
don't get along.
But I mean, look at the selections that they had to work out.
I know Marcin Gortat, Joakim Noah, and a whole bunch of
I
shit.
mean, it's just slim pickings.
I mean, who else is on the market right now?
That's
No
what I
one.
mean.
Nobody.
So the
You can
chances
wait.
of them finding anything else, I doubt it, man.
You can wait if you're the Lakers. You don't really need.
Look,
you don't
the
really
most
need
likely thing that's
Dwight.
going to happen, they're going to ride the wave for him up until All-Star, then probably just put him on a contract for the rest of the season.
Put him on the bench. Let him stay on the bench.
They'll
Let
give him that like half-season veteran minimum, most likely.
Let him warm on the bench and come up with the second unit.
Which to me, I just think, just sign him outright. Call it a day.
Yeah, give him the veteran minimum. But I mean, they would save more money paying him the way they're paying him
I
right
would
now.
rather pay Carmelo Anthony than give Dwight Howard a contract, a guaranteed contract like that. No
You know,
way.
it's funny. Over the weekend, I was watching the Big Three, and it occurred to me,
Melo's not playing.
Melo should be in the Big Three.
But does that void your availability to be in the
No.
NBA?
No,
No, you
you
can
can.
come back.
If you're in the Big Three, you can end up back in the
They
NBA.
have a
but
deal with the NBA
Majority
too.
of the players that are in the Big Three are people who retired from the NBA, or,
Right, that's what I'm
or
saying.
left because of like injury, things of that nature.
Right.
Because you even had Amari Stoudemire saying he wanted to try and make a comeback, and was like, no,
Amari's
But he
needs-
plays in the big three, right?
yeah, he's in the Big Three. I think Carmelo should join the Big Three.
I'm playing
Nah.
with who? Like,
Well, next season, obviously, like.
well, I mean, next season he'll be retired for sure. But
because this season it's pretty much
over, no?
yeah, like they're in the playoffs now. I'm not sure if it's the
Is Iverson
finals or
playing?
semifinals.
Iverson's
or-
playing in that big three league.
Nah,
no?
No,
Iverson's
I
not
don't
in
think
the
so.
Big Three.
I don't think so.
I know you played last year.
I don't think Iverson played. at
Yeah,
all.
I don't think he's ever been in the Big Three.
No, Iverson's never been.
He might have been to games, but I don't think he's on a team in the Big Three. Maybe he's an investor, if anything.
No, Carmelo's not going to go into the Big Three because Carmelo could still play in the NBA. That's not the problem. They just want to get Carmelo out of the NBA because he's too much ISO ball and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it sucks for him, but his game should have changed a long time ago because he could still play. He could
That's the
shoot.
thing. His game would be perfect for the Big Three.
Yeah, but Carmelo's about his money. So why would Carmelo go to the Big Three?
Look, it's not like there's a team right now paying him money.
He got paid out a full contract when he left.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like he got paid out,
Yeah, so he doesn't. For him,
so make some extra cash in the Big Three, man. Like
What
plus
extra
him
cash?
going there, his jersey's gonna sell in the Big Three. Like,
Ice Cube ain't have that money to pay Carmelo.
dude, it's not even like it's not even a matter of that. It's just more a matter of to go to that league and play ball. Like fuck it,
that's not
why
gonna
not?
work.
You get
No.
to play with pretty much the guys that are part of like your draft class and everything, so it'll feel like home. You know?
Maybe his draft.
Who's draft class? Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade, LeBron.
No, well, it's only
Bosh.
Dwayne
You know,
Wade.
it'll be
bro.
all his era guys there. You know, like his
No,
era.
the only people that's from his draft class that's
It'll be his era, more not so much the draft class, but his era.
Well, people used to, instead of nah,
It
that's
came
not
around
gonna
the
work.
same time. You know,
Yeah, Iverson played for the big three.
What team?
which
did
team
play
was he
for?
on?
I forgot. I'll tell you.
I hope you're sure. I don't think he played for the Big Three.
Iverson played for the big three.
I hope it voids.
Three's company.
Ah.
Michael Cooper was the coach
was
for
that
that.
the first season that they had it? Or
No, that was
second?
last year, 2017, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're not making money.
Who's not making money?
Big
Big
Three's
Three.
making money.
Big Three is making money.
I saw empty stadiums when I was seeing some games.
No, man. Like they are filling out arenas, man.
Well, they
I
have a TV
want
deal.
them-
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying I don't want them to like fail. I want them to.
No, but I'm just saying
I
because
want
like
them
I've
to
been
succeed.
this season.
They
I've
have a
been
TV
watching.
deal.
Like
That alone is,
the
you know-
arenas get packed. Like
Yeah.
they sell out. Or at the very least, they get like as close to maximum
I think
capacity.
Carmelo needs to go back to the Drew League, show what he can do, play like he's played and won.
G League? No,
the
come
Drew
on.
League, not the G League. Just show out. Just show out.
If I was Carmelo, I would literally go where I'm appreciated. I'll go play in Asia because like Lance Stevenson just got a $4 million
Dude,
deal.
Jeremy Lin is going.
Yeah, I'll go play in Asia. Why would I be wasting my time? The NBA is dogging you out. Go somewhere where you're appreciated. Stephon Marbury did that. He got paid.
Dude, he's a China legend.
Yeah, he got paid. Iverson played over there a couple of years too.
Like, legit.
Got paid. Like I think the idea that like he's so hell bent on being back in the NBA, and it's just to me is just stupid. Like, yo, they don't want you. Go put your talent elsewhere where it's gonna be appreciated.
That's true. I guess you can go to China, but I don't know. I think Carmelo is more of the type of
Bro,
I want competition. I want that competition that I can face.
There's only a selected few players in the NBA right now, and I would say maybe 25 players, at most 30, that are better than Carmelo. And I think in the NBA, in his particular position, he's still top 10. You can't argue that.
His position, top 10.
Argue that.
Whoa.
So what? Small forward, power forward?
Yeah. That can shoot. That
Okay.
can back you down.
Small forwards in the NBA.
Let's try to count this down. Blake Griffin is better than Carmelo Anthony.
No way.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
No,
yes,
he's
he
not.
Is. Yes, he is. I'm
A
sorry.
better shooter than Carmelo?
He's a better
better
overall
wing?
player. He's a better overall
Better
player than
overall
Carmelo.
player, yeah.
Oh,
Kevin
Paul
Durant,
Kevin Durant.
Paul George,
Paul George.
Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi Leonard. Who else?
LeBron.
LeBron. That's 5 already.
okay, go ahead. I will laugh. I'm waiting.
I'm just trying to think of like
I
all
would
the
say
teams.
Anthony Davis, but I'm not sure.
He's a
because-
center.
No, he doesn't play center.
No, he's power forward.
He's power forward.
So Anthony Davis.
So that's 6. Who else? Klay
And-
Thompson. No, Klay Thompson's a guard.
Yeah, he's a guard. Antetokounmpo, is he?
Antetokounmpo, yes.
He's a center.
He doesn't play center. He plays power forward.
Yeah.
He's a center, bro.
Just because
He's
he's
not
tall
a
doesn't make
center.
him a center, dog. He's a power forward. Who else?
What other teams can we name here?
I got to go through all the teams.
Al Horford.
Al Horford is better than Carmelo, unfortunately. Yeah.
He's a power forward setter. Al Horford for sure.
Who else?
Oh, the guy from
76ers,
Portland.
Ben Simmons.
oh yeah, Ben Simmons.
That's 9 people I have there
The guy from Portland. What's his name?
from Portland.
Oh, Middleton from
Chris Middleton?
Milwaukee.
So Middleton and Giannis play the same position.
No, Middleton's a small forward, but like Carmelo plays small forward, power forward.
So that's
who
10.
else?
That's already 10 people there.
There's more.
He's not.
more,
He's
too.
not.
Is it Milicic or?
Darko Milicic?
Yeah, is he a or is
Darko
he a center?
No,
No,
Darko
he's a center.
Milicic.
He's
No,
a center.
Meritic.
Meritic, that's the name I'm thinking of.
That's from
Meritic.
Denver.
Yeah.
Who else?
Chris Stapps? No, Chris Stapps and him don't play the same position. Chris Stapps doesn't play the same. I'm not sure.
Porzingis.
Porzingis is a power forward.
Porzingis power forward?
Yeah.
There you go.
He's not better than Carmelo.
Of course he is better than
Kristaps
Carmelo.
is better than
Look,
Carmelo.
he's just not healthy.
Bro, get the fuck. You guys are talking shit. That's the whole point.
Why do you think they got rid of Carmelo in the first place from the Knicks? Because of Porzingis.
Kuzma.
No, I wouldn't say Kuzma is
You
there
guys
yet.
are crazy.
I like Kuzma, but he's not there yet.
You
I like
guys are
Kuzma, but he's not there
crazy.
yet.
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram? No.
Power forward, center.
No, not better than Carmelo.
You guys are crazy.
Yo, I'm just telling you. That's what it
but
is.
you want to
dog.
tell me? You want to tell me Carmelo has no value to an NBA team?
I'm not
I've
saying
never
that.
said that.
I'm not saying that. I'm
I
saying
have
he deserves
never
it.
said that in my life. Ever.
So what's your point?
You asked 10 people.
Give me more than 10, dog.
You asked the question.
Listen, I think Carmelo should be in the NBA, but he needs to like go on you can't be on a title contender because he would have been on a team already. He would have been on a title
Bro,
contender team already.
It's funny how you guys want to tell somebody what they should do about their career. The whole point is he should value himself. I'm not going to tell him to undervalue what he brings to a team because as much as you guys are saying what you guys are saying, it's not like he doesn't have value to add to a team. And yes, who you guys name. I mean, I don't see Paul George doing way more than what Carmelo did in his career.
Paul George was an MVP candidate last year. He was second.
Melo
in
was
MVP.
also a candidate at some point in his career.
He was never. He was never.
Melo
No, he
was never. Bro,
Never.
you crazy.
Never.
You
I
crazy.
mean, we can look it up when like the most MVP votes he's ever gotten.
I'm sure he's gotten MVP votes.
Yeah, he's for sure gotten MVP votes, but I don't know
Yeah.
if he was ever like top dog.
Neither was what's his name, Paul George. He was just mentioned. He was never. He was.
Dude,
He
he
was
was what?
second in All-Star voting.
Yeah,
this
he was
year.
second last year.
He was second All-Star voting.
In All-Star
not All-Star,
voting?
No,
MVP
and
voting.
MVP.
MVP
He wasn't
voting.
second.
He's either
Yeah, he
second or
was.
third, man.
He was
Yeah.
third. He wasn't second.
Because who won it last year? Harden, right?
Harden.
Harden won
MVP?
it.
And it was Westbrook was second.
Wait, was it Harden? No. What am I saying? It was
It's Giannis who
Giannis.
won it.
Giannis
It was
Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
Yeah.
I think Harden was
Harden
second,
was
and
second.
then Paul George.
Okay, then it was Paul. Then it was
Yeah.
Paul George. Then.
But I mean,
So-
top three.
But the whole point, I'm sure Melo's been top 3 as well.
I don't
I'm
know.
not saying he hasn't. I'm just.
that I have to check.
I would definitely take Paul George over Carmelo's.
And today.
Oh, for sure, you would. He's a younger player. I'm not saying
Dude,
he
even
is.
when he was in Indiana.
No, he was good in Indiana. I'm not
Yeah,
saying he's a
that's what I
terrible
mean.
player, but I'm just saying you're comparing age-wise. I think Carmelo would be a good fit in a lot of teams.
Look, I do believe he would be a great fit in teams. The problem is a lot of teams look at him as we want a guy who's going to come in, fit the system, be a spot shooter, get the rebounds type of thing. Whereas Carmelo's a guy who is a ball demander, run it through me. I want to be the guy.
Play no defense whatsoever.
And that's not what teams want.
I'm
So,
saying-
like I
And
said,
like you said, he should not be somebody who undervalues himself. That's perfectly fine. If you think that's your value, let that be how you represent yourself. Teams don't want that.
well, that's good. Like I said, if I was him, I wouldn't let nobody dog me out. I'll straight go to China, bro.
But Jamal, you're right on that point. Where if he goes to China, he'd be probably making close to LeBron contract money because they can pay him that.
He would
But-
just get paid. There's no point of I think the idea, the way I see sports team, especially major, in the North America area, is they just use you for whatever they want you. And when they don't want you, they throw you to the side. They blackball you. They say all sorts of shit.
Well, yeah.
Bro, take your talents elsewhere, bro. Straight up. It is what it is.
With that in mind, we should talk about Andrew Luck deciding to take his career in his own hands and retiring.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you know what? Do what you got to do, big buddy. You've
yeah.
taken enough beatings on that field. You've tried to force your way back enough way too many times.
Yeah.
If you feel like this is the right thing to do, I am all fucking for it.
I don't see nothing wrong with him leaving, and I think it takes a lot to walk away from a sport you love, obviously. But sometimes you got to be smart, you know what I mean, and make the right decision. You can't push yourself beyond
Yeah.
a point where something could go wrong, and then there is no way to go back. So
And to the people that, you had a bunch of, fantasy owners and the few reporters who were basically getting on his case for waiting this long into the offseason, coming into the new season to announce that he was going to retire.
There's a reason for that, though, and I'll get into it
And
after.
I look at it like he had the offseason to really assess his body, assess his mentality, and see if he was prepared to take whatever percentage of health he had going into this season to actually play a full season and dedicate it to 100% of what he knows he needs to do. And if going through this whole offseason, he got to this point where he realized, you know what, the rehabbing, the practicing, everything, it's not to where I need it to be. These people need to stop looking at it as he waited to this moment and waited to the last minute to do it. No, he went through all of this, and it was at that moment he realized, I can't do this. And if that's the case, they'll tell it in every single locker room. If you're not here mentally, don't go out there because you're only putting yourself at risk, and another time you're going to be putting everybody else at risk. So for him to walk away, and especially knowing this is a guy who's dedicated his life to this sport, he's done more than the 10,000 hours to perfect it and show that this is something that he could do at the professional level, which, less than 3% of the people who actually try to make this attempt into this sport actually make it. And of those 3%, how many of them actually make it beyond 4 seasons of actually playing it? For him to do what he did, fight the way he fought, and go out the way he has decided to go out, I tip my hat to him. I nothing but respect for him. And I hope he gets to live the rest of his healthy life with his wife, with children, and just enjoy himself, man.
My thing with Andrew Luck is I wish him all the best and everything like that. I can give him a certain amount of pass, but not too much of a pass because he said during the offseason that he was going to be ready.
okay.
And the thing is, it's that it was the way it was done as well too. How are you on the sidelines with the team and you're saying you're retiring, and everyone is just learning this while the game is going on. Like, well, you retire and everything
Because
like
somebody
that.
leaked it, man.
But, huh?
Someone leaked that.
But I mean, I hate when
but listen-
how you can't tell a man
But-
that there's a way to do
But
something.
listen, Jamal, listen. And the thing is, what
We've
you have
had
to
this
understand-
conversation before.
Yeah, but what you have to understand is I understand it's his career and his life, and like I said, I have no problem with him retiring, but you also have to think, and this is apart from, I'm not blaming Andrew Luck. I'm thinking about the other people that's around him. So, for example, you have T.Y. Hilton, who's been there for 8 years, and other players around that team. For them, this was like, oh, this is the year. We have everything that we need now on this team to make that run. And this is the year that, we can potentially have a payday to make that money that we're coming through. And now it's like, ooh, Andrew Luck is gone. It's like, what's going to happen now? We don't know. And it's kind of leaving them in the wind of what's going to happen. Because now you have Jacoby Brissett, who's going to come in and do the best that he can. There's no expectation for him. I don't have much expectation for him. I hope he does well, but who knows what's going to happen.
But that's not Andrew's luck problem.
Huh?
That's
Well,
not
even-
his
but
problem.
It's
Even
not
before
his problem.
that,
It's not his
too-
problem, but he made it their problem.
Well, no. And I can't even say that because there were reports that came out and speaking to the fact that during a game, it comes out, tweeted from Adam Schefter, that Andrew Luck is retiring and he's literally on the field. That's something that comes out from the camp. And understand, there were things that came out after like the retirement was announced. He had his press conference that people in the camp, Jim Irsay, the
They
general
knew.
manager, they knew for months that he was of a mind that if he doesn't get to a point where he feels comfortable with his health, that he was going to walk away. So it wasn't something that just came out of a whim.
No, they didn't
And-
know they knew like maybe like a week or so because that's when
No,
they
they
knew
said
bef-
straight up, they knew for months.
No, he got injured. The reason thing, and he even said Andrew Luck said he can't deal with the pain. He got injured the last time we saw him. He got injured by his leg. They say it's a sprained ankle, and they say it's a sprained calf. No one knows what it is. I'm pretty sure he broke his leg. That's why he can't play anymore. He doesn't want to go through rehab
Look,
anymore.
And,
I'm pretty
and
sure.
even
that's
if
what
that's the case, just specifically looking at the way this announcement came out, the first person to make this announcement and what the camp knew and what they said they knew, especially after the conference happened, it's something that it's undeniable that there was conversations about this, at least from Andrew Luck to the front office, that this may be the possibility if his health isn't there. So the fact that it happens during the game and it comes out from Adam Schefter during that game, he's on the sideline. He must have had that conversation with Jim Irsay either the day before or the day of that. You know what? That's going to be it, and he's going to make his announcement. The fact that Adam Schefter basically makes that announcement before he's able to, it's like who in the camp put it out there? That's a front office basically saying, you know what? It's going to happen. Here's the information. Let the people know.
I'm just saying for Andrew Luck is like I said, I'm not like blaming anything on him. I'm just looking at the standpoint of there's other players on the team.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to rely on Jacoby Brissett, who
And you know
it's
what?
Not his fault.
Next man up. Because look, and I say it that way because the amount of love and support Andrew Luck is getting from his teammates, and look, it could all be like the whole media thing, like make it look good for the media, but behind closed doors they're pissed off, whatever. But this is a guy who we have seen throughout the years literally push himself. Play with a lacerated kidney, broken ribs. He's had the shoulder injury. Like the amount of injuries this guy's had that we've seen him play through. You can't question this guy's
Well, no, I
heart.
don't-
You can't
I don't-
question his dedication.
I don't question anything. And if any blame you want to put on it, you have to put it on Ryan Grigson, the old GM of the Colts who was there before, because he only drafted his whole time during when he was there. He only drafted like 3 O linemen for him, and they were all trash, all 3 of them. So if anything, it's the GM and the owner who's at fault for that part. The only thing I would say is, if you were going to retire, you should have done it, and you were thinking about this for months. The moment you start thinking about retirement, that's when you should have retired.
You can't say
no,
that.
I can't say that at all.
I can't say that.
No, you
Because
can't.
how many times did Brett Favre decide when he was in Green Bay he was going to retire?
Michael Jordan.
Doesn't retire, goes plays for
Yeah,
the
but
Jets,
Michael
does
Jordan
well
didn't
for the
wait till
Jets,
the
goes to
preseason.
Minnesota, plays well in Minnesota. I mean, like,
Yeah, but Michael Jordan didn't wait 1 or 2 weeks before the season started to say I'm retiring. Neither did Brett Favre.
But
Brett
the
Favre
point
did all
is-
this when
I'm not going to
you
tell a
can't
guy
tell
when
somebody
he
when
should
he
make
can
that
retire,
decision,
bro. That's
it's
all-
more a matter of he made the decision when he felt it was right to make that decision.
Yeah.
Like at that point, that's what it is.
I don't know, man. It's just like we had that discussion weeks ago when I was saying you can't retire like right in the middle of the game. You're making an announcement and the game's still going on. You were playing like a few minutes earlier and saying that's not leaving people hanging, but there's people that depend on you too. And I'm not saying that T.Y. Hilton is like helpless without Andrew Luck, but for T.Y. Hilton to get probably paid in the future, he's probably
and you know what? You're absolutely
Andrew
right.
Luck.
There are people that are dependent on him, like his family, like
There you
their
go.
children,
There you go.
like the loved ones that don't want to see you go out there and end up like a vegetable because you just want to finish this game, but you're half-assing it and you take a bad hit or you go for a bad tackle, and now you're Shazier'd out there. I'd rather you, if you know right in that moment you are done, do not step foot back on that field.
But this goes with the other question I was saying again. It's like, okay, you retire, give back the money that you were owed to the team. You were owed
The
for the
team doesn't want the money back.
If the team doesn't want
Yeah.
money back, it's
And
fine.
you know,
I have no
and
problem with that.
I've
I have
never
no problem
argued
with that.
that. If you're
I
going to
have no
walk
problem with
away,
that.
No.
from
There's a
that point,
no.
there's no more money going to you.
No. But there's a difference. You're making it seem like he's arguing to keep the money.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
And to me personally,
if you're going to leave, give back any money that you're paid because that's an investment into you. And if you're not there
if
for
the
that
team
investment,
doesn't require,
if the team doesn't want back the money, it's okay. That's fine. I
but
get
that's the
that.
thing with the Colts.
Yeah.
The Colts want him
Whatever
to keep
is
the
your
money.
guaranteed is your guaranteed.
But the
you
Colts
hold
are-
on to that.
the Colts
Whatever
are keeping-
else is after that,
There's
You let it
reports
go.
where the Colts said that they'll let him keep the $24 million.
yeah, they've already said straight up he
Then
can
let
have
him
it.
keep it. Then let
And
him keep the money then.
They should because the dude's whole body has been pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah, how much money did they make off him?
Like literally that 24 million or what, and even with the incentives and everything is nothing compared to the amount of money Andrew Luck's jersey and his name being a part of that franchise has made them.
And
Not
will
even close.
make them because I'm sure his jersey is still going to be selling.
Of course.
Well, his jersey?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think if you're out of the if you're out of the NFL, your jersey can.
Whatever jersey they have
officially
already
sell.
Oh, they can
produced,
still
they're
sell
going
it.
to sell it.
Yeah, that can sell, but I don't think anything can be produced that's new or anything like that.
I'm sure they can be.
Unless it's like a throwback or some shit like that.
The point in case is, I don't think any of us have the right to tell anybody when they should make a decision for the betterment of their life. Whether it came on the sideline, halfway through the game, it doesn't matter. He's allowed to blow the whistle on it.
Yeah.
Period. And he doesn't owe anybody anything but his loved ones. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you decided right now to walk out of the podcast, people might be like, yeah, he's wrong, but no, essentially you choose when it's your time to walk away.
But I would not do it like in the middle
Yeah,
of something.
you would not do it. That'll make it the right way.
Because
It's your way.
Yeah,
Because like
but
if
there's
mentally
also-
you're not there, then I mean
there's
like I
also-
can't force you to do something that mentally you just don't want to do
But
anymore.
there's also a responsibility in the things you do. If you're assigned a task to do it, you're not going to quit in the middle of doing it. If you don't feel
Yes, if I can't perform where adequately or to the level I believe I should be doing it, I will walk away. And if it takes for me to actually step my foot on, start doing whatever I was required to do, and I realize like I'm not performing accurately or to the level I think, or it's necessary for me to do, I will. I think it's pathetic to think that his mind is probably troubling him on the sideline. He's going back and forth within his head, and to go take snaps, bro, and then for just him to just lose track of whatever he's doing and take a massive hit, never that.
All right, so like I said before, don't be there. If you're not in your gear, you already decided you're going to retire. Why are you on the sidelines?
Maybe he was asked to be down there.
Yeah.
Like the thought of the team maybe possibly knowing already that it was going to retire.
Yeah.
And them saying, you know what, just come out on sideline one last game with
Yeah.
us. It's still preseason, so
And
no
it's not
big
even
deal.
announced yet.
Yeah, there's no announcement until Adam Schefter tweets
Said
it
it.
out. Nobody knows a thing. So it's like if he's out there supporting the people that he's played all these years with, getting one last moment of like, I'm walking away from this. Let
For
me
the
just
fans,
enjoy this.
whatever the case may be.
Have that.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know, man.
no harm in him literally just enjoying that last moment he's going to have on a football field with the brothers that he's
Even if he wants
played
to
with
be
all
there
these
for the
years.
next 16 weeks, bro, and just sit there, he could. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think, like, at the end of the day, we act like these guys are not humans and they're just like some kind of robot.
You know what? I would have no problem if he was there and he was like telling like Jacoby Brissett, okay, this is what you need to do. Like he's a consultant on the team. He's there to help out if anything like
Yeah,
that.
you would like that.
but in
Who's
an
to say
official
that
capacity.
he won't be?
Yeah.
In an official
You know,
capacity.
but like the thing is, there's a lot of speculation about this. But who is to say he won't be involved with the team in a mentorship type of capacity? Like,
Right.
there's nothing
A
at the
QB
moment to
coach or
say
something
that.
of that nature.
You know, like we can make these speculations of what we would want him to do, this, that, but if you know it's time for you to walk away, walk away.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
like I said,
especially in this type of
And there's
sport where
there's-
we've seen too many people have the game take them out.
Yeah.
If you know this is my time to walk away,
Do it.
because me being out there, I know I'm going to be looking over my shoulder. I'm not going to be committed to this the way I need to be,
Right.
which will put others in danger. You got to walk away.
Hey, I'm just saying, I have no problem with him retiring. I said, if you want to retire, retire. It's just that the optics of it looking, because I'm taking into consideration what's around him. It's like I said, I don't mind if you retired. Do what you want. It's your life. You can do anything you want with your
Yeah,
life.
and he could definitely go to the sideline and
But-
then choose to retire halfway through the
then,
game.
But then you have to realize the other stuff around you, dog. It's like, you know, people work their ass off just to
So
go see
you want to
play.
tell me the fact that he was on the sideline made a difference? That the announcement came after or before it made a difference?
If I
It's
knew,
the same
if
conditions
I
they're gonna
knew-
be in.
If I knew I didn't want to do the podcast and I showed up here and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore, and I had actual stuff to do to set up and all that stuff, I would not come here. I would either tell you, all right, this is what you do. I'm not coming here.
But that's you.
But then-
there's
but
I
no.
don't even think it's a level comparison because
Yeah.
But
it's
you're
like it's to
depending-
say that, you know, you're saying how the people around are working hard. Yeah, Andrew Luck was working hard too.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it's not like this is something that for us it came on a whim. For us it was a shock. But to that organization and guaranteed to that team, it was something that was known
No,
for
for sure.
some time.
They made
and they
clear
even said
indication
there was
that they knew for
conversations
that
that
for
we're
months.
having for months back and forth about the condition of his health and him being able to play.
And I don't even just think it's a health thing too. I think mentally, football's a mental sport more than most people like
mental
to believe.
goes into health as well.
Like, I mean, yes, but when we hear you say health, they think more so the physical portion because of his injuries.
Yeah.
But I think mentally is your mental mindset when you're playing a game like football is so critical because not only could you get hurt, you could hurt somebody if you're not mentally there.
And look, he said it himself where he had already went through a situation where he forcibly went through the rehabs, tried to get back out there, pushed himself way too far to the point where him being out there, him being healthy, every hit he was taking, everything that he was going through was just too much for him to take until the next season came where essentially he felt like he was sidelined again.
And I mean,
and he said
basketball-
he will not go through that again. And if he got to this point where he's like, I'm on the sidelines, I'm trying to force it, and I know it's literally going to be a repeat of something that was one of the lowest points in his career, and he's not going to do it again, so be it.
Let me ask you this: what happens if we see Andrew Luck come back like in a season or two?
That's okay. Why not?
Why is that okay?
Well, because I mean,
Dude,
what?
Gronk is talking about coming back.
You can't tell somebody they're like, let's say he takes 2 years.
Oh
he-
yeah, but Gronk, like I said, Gronk didn't say he was retiring during the season. Or on
Oh,
the sideline
wow,
or
oh,
anything.
bro, like
Whether
you can't
it's-
make that much of an
Look,
emphasis.
if he decides, you know, he actually goes away for a year or two, he's perfectly healthy, and he knocks on the Colts' door and says, I want to come back,
What,
I'm going to tell him
didn't
no?
Michael
No.
Jordan,
I doubt they're going to tell him no.
Didn't Michael Jordan came back halfway through a season?
Michael Jordan's the best player.
Like,
in
let the
basketball.
Colts organization
Andrew Luck
decide
is
what
not
they're
even the
going to
best
do
player
at
in
that
football.
point.
I know what you're talking about.
Bro, so wait, no, but so certain people have certain privilege.
That's how it's always been. That's how it's always been.
No, but I
Especially
think
in
if-
football and basketball, it's always
Look, if we're looking at it in the sense of he
That's
decides to
crazy.
walk away and in 2 years he feels like he wants to come back, if the NFL wants to accept him back, which chances are they will, because considering his age, he could still go in there and put in a couple
not
more
s-
years. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts said, yeah, come back, let's work you out, let's see if you're good to go. Like,
For sure, he's gonna undergo physicals for sure.
why would I be
goes-
mad at that?
But that goes to the point of saying that what happens if like the next year T.Y. Hilton has an off year, he's traded, or for whatever he gets released because Andrew Luck's not there. Andrew Luck comes back, I get to come back, have my old contract, do whatever I have.
look, what happens when he's not there is no longer his concern.
I'm not saying
Concern.
it's his concern, but it's because you had the opportunity to play there. Like I said, people are depending on you.
Bro,
I'm not saying, like I said,
people-
it's not his fault that he wants to retire. Let him do what he wants. Just be in mind that there's other people around you as well, and they depend on you, on your abilities.
But you think
good
he
or
didn't
bad.
think about the people around him when he made this decision?
I'm sure he did, and like I said, he
Bro,
can do whatever
like first
he
and
wants.
foremost, you're telling me that he should think of his teammates.
That's not what I said.
Well, you said
No,
who-
you're saying he should think about the people around him, and you're specifically naming teammates.
Because those are the
But
people
at
that play
what
with
point
him.
should he think about himself?
And that's what I said. Like I think,
But
you
it
guys
can't be
are
both
I think
ways.
you guys
can't,
are-
Like
bro.
your
I
argument
think you
can
gu-
be, I'm not mad at him for retiring. He's got to do what's best for him. But then be like, but he should have considered. Like,
Yeah, you
him
never
doing
said-
this
but
is
you-
literally
you-
him
you-
considering the
you guys
people
are
around
mixing
him
up my
because he
words.
knows he can't go
Hold-
out there and perform to the
hold on
I
a
never
second.
said he
Hold on
should
a second,
consider.
Matthew.
He should consider. I said you should know that there's other people that are depending on you. I'm not saying that it's your fault that they're not making their money. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying because of your abilities, these people depend on you for certain things. So do what you want with your life. Just know there's other people that depend on you. I didn't say that you should worry about these other people. I'm
But,
just
okay,
saying
but what
know
you're
that-
saying, so let me understand you clearly, because either way, however you flip this coin, what you're saying is nonsensical, in my opinion, and I would stand corrected if you could explain it differently. So you're saying because he's the quarterback, he distributes the ball.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people that you're naming, these teammates of his, require his passing ability for them to get whether their rushing yards, their catches increased because they're in a contract year, so they could go for the big bucks.
Correct.
And therefore, he should be mindful of these people's next step, right?
I'm not saying he should be. Listen, what I'm saying.
Whoa, but before you,
let him explain. Let him explain. Go
It's
ahead.
not that he should be mindful. I understand he made the decision to retire.
So what should he be of?
But
What?
these people now, and this is the whole point I wanted to make. If he decides to come back, how should they see him? How should his teammates see him when he comes back? Back to the same Colts team, have the same opportunities that he had, and because I'm using T.Y. Hilton as an example. What happens if T.Y. Hilton gets let go during the season or gets waived at the end of the season because of productivity?
Okay.
So,
but even with that, like you're talking about productivity. If he stays and like screw this like hypothetical of him coming back, how they should feel, because I can't tell you how any individual should feel about him coming back with their relationship with him, because I don't know the relationship with him. But if he were to stay, if he were to tough it out and try to play for these guys, whether they're in contract years or whatever, and he can't actually get them the ball, he can't actually read the defense as well, because he knows physically he's going to be thinking about that more so than what's happening in front of him. He's not reading plays properly. He's making mistakes.
He's miscalculating routes.
Guess what happens to their contract season? It's better for him knowing that he is not able to perform at the capacity that they need to walk away. There's nothing that can compel me to make this understanding of, the people that depend on him. They depend on him to go out there at a certain level. If he's not going to go out there at their certain level, he shouldn't be there. That's simple.
Not only that, too, Jason. The rushing yards or the catches or whatever these people are going to get from Andrew Luck doesn't come down to Andrew Luck. It comes down to them. If they're not rushing properly, they're not being able to catch yards after catch.
The
all
line's
these
not
extra
blocking
shit,
properly.
they're not blocking properly. They can't read routes. They're running their routes properly. They're jumping the line too early. They're doing so many things. It's outside of Andrew Luck control anyway.
Yeah.
So hold on. To say that Jabari, they can't do the same with Jabari, it's retarded. It's ridiculous. Jacoby. I don't know why I said Jabari.
So you're saying Jacoby Brissett and Tom Brady are the same quarterback?
No, I'm not saying
definition?
that.
No.
But I'm just saying if
We're
you're
not
a
saying they're the
receiver,
same.
if you're a receiver, you should be able to catch the ball.
Yeah, but then any quarterback can pass it to any receiver.
That's
what
not
you're
even
saying.
the argument that's being made here. It's more a matter of understanding that, yeah, Jacoby Brissett, he's the next guy up. He's going to be their quarterback. But to think that Andrew Luck should have to
Consider
forcibly put himself out there and be considerate of them, knowing that he's putting himself in danger, makes no sense.
But you know why I say that? Because the reason I say why you should have said this at the beginning of the season, give your other teammates some options.
Which is the beginning of the season. It's now.
No, at the beginning of the he
But
waited till like one week before
Jacoby
the season
Brissett's
started.
been getting more
He's been running.
in training than Andrew Luck has been getting.
Because Andrew Luck's hurt.
Exactly. So him leaving, guess what? Jacoby Brissett's been the one practicing with the first team more than
All right,
Andrew
but
Luck.
they still had the
So
expectation.
now
that
it's not even a matter of they're
just
not
2
prepared
weeks
for
ago,
this. They are.
Just 2 weeks ago, the Colts said that we were expecting Andrew Luck to start.
Yeah, they could have said that a dog was going to be their starter. It doesn't fucking matter because they knew he was not the one that was out there in the practice. Reporters were out there wondering why, if he's going to be ready to go, why isn't he the one that's in the first team
My
practicing?
thing is, if you're gonna make a big decision like that, especially a leader of your team, and you knew this for months, you have to give heads up to people that work.
You're acting like these guys were not made aware. They probably
They knew.
were made aware.
It's
Like
the same way
this is
they
on the
knew
assumption.
Kevin Durant's injury was a lot more severe than they were making it out to be, and
Yeah.
still let him go out there.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather Andrew Luck do what he did, or even if Kevin Durant had just said, you know what, I'm going to sit. Like, as much as I want to get out there, I'm going to sit. Then try to force it, and then what happened to Kevin Durant happens to Andrew Luck.
And I mean, football is a lot dangerous than than basketball.
So, look what happened to Alex Smith, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be mad at a man who's looking at himself, his health, his future, and says, you know
There's
what?
more to life for anybody than
I'm not
football.
going to force it.
Yeah, he probably, you know what I mean? Like, he could be really royally screwed, especially some of the hits that this guy's been taking.
Yeah, man.
No. Absolutely not.
But I mean,
Alright.
to not go through any more circles, I want to give a shout out to Serena Williams for beating Maria Sharapova, one of her biggest fans, 19th time in a row. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, so whatever. Beat her
I don't like
under and
Sharapova.
after. 6-1, 6-1 straight sets.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Straight coal.
Kids don't do drugs.
All right, we got a wrap.
One more.
All right,
Missy Elliott finally got her Video Vanguard Award by the MVT Video Music Awards. Good for her. It was an amazing performance. I was the only thing of that award show I tuned in for. I was basically just like
I
waiting
didn't even
for
know there was an award show.
Twitter
I
to it.
didn't know either.
I literally was just like
No.
watching like shows on Netflix, and then, or actually no, I was watching I think the Yankees game, and when people were like announced that, oh, she's about to perform, I tuned in, watched it, she killed it. Of course, it's Missy fucking Elliott. Then went right back to the baseball game.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was.
Yo,
an
you
award
watch
show or
baseball
anything.
over that? Bro, I
Over the
think
VMAs?
I think I was sleeping. I woke up.
You're damn right I'm going to watch baseball over the VMAs, bro.
I woke up and I saw it on my timeline. I'm not really.
Like, I don't really watch award shows. I just look to see the list of winners, and then, unless like I know there's a performance I want to see, then that's
Nah,
about
I
it.
don't even care about performance anymore. It's
Well,
not
I mean,
the
it's
same.
Missy, though. She always puts on a good show, man.
But it's not Missy of the old.
No, she went out there and killed it, man.
I mean, I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying, like, it's not something I didn't know she's capable of.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
loved
mean?
it, man. It was great.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, we're done. Let's
So any
wrap.
final thoughts before we get out of here?
yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big person who believes in donating to organization, but like we discussed at the top of the show with Amazon, I mean, seek out whoever you guys are going to donate. Make sure the money's going to the Amazon. If you guys want to donate, go ahead and do so. I don't know. Maybe I might donate this time. I'm not doing it to the Red Cross or one of them places. You know, I don't trust those guys. Then I'm going to be driving around in Beamers. No. I'm going to find me a good organization and send some dollars through there. We need to keep the rainforest. So, yeah.
Jason?
I have no real final thoughts. Same as always. Just live your life to the best. It's the best you can do.
As for myself, have a great long weekend, party it up and enjoy it responsibly, and tune in next week to us as we do what we do best here on a Tuesday evening. It's been fun having you guys here with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share it, tell your friends, listen to the Don't Be Mad podcast. Peace.
We out.
Take
Love
care.
is love.